So, in a landmark ruling today, the NFL lost its power, man. The NFL lost its power to Brian Flores, man. Brian Flores, obviously, with the arbitrators, what they were doing before, they were, what the NFL does is they are the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So, they like to arbitrate, and Roger Goodell is the judge. So, how can somebody sue you, but you are actually the judge
Right.
and you make the decisions also? So, I mean, this is ridiculous. So, what happened was now that the judge in the appeals court. So here's a little background that I looked up. So Flores, his allegations were interviews under the Rooney Rule, right? Which you have to interview. It's supposed to be minority. That's in air quotes. This happened in August 14th. The appeals court cleared Brian Flores for an open court trial.
Right.
So now this could be aired out in the open. There's no more closed doors with the NFL trying to make these deals happen. However, we know the NFL is going to try and appeal this, right? And they are going to try to make sure that this never gets out in the public and the public can see what's going on. They're trying to keep this in-house and shut this down so nothing ever happens.
Yep.
This is big.
Yep. And just to give it a little bit more color in context, I mean, this is a discrimination case that Brian Flores is filing against the NFL, feeling that some of their actions were in direct opposition of him being able to gain promotions or additional opportunities just based on the fact that he's color of his skin. And I know what some people would say, he was a head coach. And so what is he complaining about? He had an opportunity and some would say, oh, he didn't do a good job, which I don't agree with that. I think he actually was doing a really good job with what was given to him at the time. But you also have to go into more context about this in terms of some of the allegations and information that he's putting into the suit about what was being levied against him, even when he was a head coach, right? So some of it stems from the fact that he was saying he was being pressured into losing games so that they could be in better positions to draft, right? A higher caliber player. And then I think there were other allegations about him not getting the type of support once he didn't kind of fall in line with what ownership wanted him to do in terms of, shaving those games and losing those games. Then kind of a lot of things kind of compounded, which I found was very interesting about a year or two ago when the suit started to go when it was in effect behind closed doors, when Tua came out with his allegations about how Flores treated him when Flores was the head coach and Tua was a rookie, and he started like getting into details about some of the things that Tua said about him, right? Saying he was trash and he was no good, and it made him feel some kind of way. Now, a couple of things here, and I played a little bit of football links.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And in the little bit of football I played, them coaches talk to you crazy. When I say, like, they talk to everybody crazy. If you go now, I just saw a clip. I can't remember, I don't know the name of the show, but it has Greg Williams. I don't know if you remember him. But he was a longtime defensive coordinator in the NFL. He had a couple of head coaches.
Yes. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Bountygate, remember Bountygate? It was centered around him. He was suspended from the NFL for a couple of years because of the whole Bountygate situation. They showed some clips. I was just watching it today, and there's a documentary coming out, and it's going to be centered around him and some of the other teams that he had played for. And the things that he was saying to players, describing them about their play, about the lack of play, about the lack of effort, calling them out, by their name. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
Bad in the terms of like you wouldn't go out and talk to normal people this way. But anyone that has ever played football knows that when you're in that locker room, when you're in that facility, whatever team that you're on, it's a completely different world. Mm-hmm. So when Tua came out and he was saying these things about Flores, those that know I'm pretty sure they were rolling there as like, come on, dude. Like, if that's all he was saying about you.
And that's good.
Right. Not even that it's good. It shows that you're lacking some self, you know, not
Ye-
motivation, but it's
Okay.
like your mental, like you're weak minded, right? Like that, your mental fortitude is a little bit low. And so when that happened, and it seemed like it was in an effort to disparage Flores, right? Especially with all the stuff that was coming out, it just seemed a little bit coordinated. Not that Tua was in cahoots with the NFL, but it was just interesting that they asked him that question, knowing the background already, to
Absolutely.
get him to say that, and then they amplified it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I liked was how Flores handled that situation when it came out, because he was blindsided. I think at that time they were in camp, and
Hmm.
they described the quotes that Tua was saying about him, that Tua said that he said about him.
Right.
Flores just took it on the chin. He's like, "Look, I wish I could do a lot of things differently. I'm sad that he felt that way. I'm still growing, and I'll know for the next time that I have to handle certain things a little bit differently."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He took it like an adult.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But with this whole Flores, I'm glad that it's getting out in the open.
Hmm.
You're right. The NFL has now there's a little bit of a chink in the armor. They've lost a little bit of power here, and it's going to be interesting to see how this thing unfolds because I think it's time. I mean, we need a better judicial system when it comes to some of these allegations and these suits that are coming out because in as much as we love the game and it's a great game, the way that they go about protecting the shield, it seems it's a little bit too much, right? It's
Yeah.
like at
Yeah.
some point you got to be held accountable for
Hmm.
some of the things that have happened, some of the things that you do. You just can't keep going about doing your own thing however you want to do it. And if something needs to be fixed, if something is wrong, it needs to be called out and you need to adjust accordingly. So hopefully that happens because we do need to continue to see more ethnic coaches getting opportunities. Still, the ratio is still it's not where it should be when you look in contrast to the amount of players that have played historically that have an ethnic background.
Right. Right.
Because
Yeah.
the majority of coaches they played the game.
Yeah. Yep.
So by comparison, we should see way more ethnic coaches in the league
You
than
should.
we're seeing right now.
Right. Right. Well, with all of this, Brian Flores he's bold. He's a change agent because what he's doing and going up against the NFL and currently a coach in the NFL is I would say this. His ownership, they're sticking their head out because they know the overall arching NFL, right?
Yep.
They may
Yep.
already know they may already know, okay, we're gonna do this and we support you or we're behind you with this, already knowing that this isn't gonna go far,
Mm-hmm.
right? You would
Mm-hmm.
want it to go far, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if this just drags on for years and years and years and it just magically goes away. Because what I see with the NFL and how they handle things, like you said, great game. We love the game. However, how they handle situations like this, it's just not good. It's not
Right.
good. And these things just happen to disappear. So with Brian Flores, all I can say is, man, kudos to you for what you're doing and how you are doing it. And check this out also. You're not gonna see this much on TV. You're not gonna see many of the big networks talk about this issue right here. They are. I could promise you. I hadn't looked at ESPN or turned ESPN on or to see if they were talking about this issue or even if they touched on it. Maybe they touch on it, but they're not gonna go deep on it because I think obviously everybody is tied into this, the NFL, the networks and everybody. And so what the network brass is saying is, hey, you could touch on this, but don't dwell on this. Touch on this real quick and then move to the next. Move to the next. I could see that happening in production meetings, in on all of these sport networks where they're just trying to keep the system in place. So kudos to Brian Flores, man, and trying to make this thing happen. That's bold though. That is bold. But somebody got to do it.
Someone got to do it, man. I mean, doing this all the while being a coordinator. I think that he was quoted. He said he thought he would lose his job, like, and
Yeah,
never be able to coach again,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because of going forward with the suit, but he felt like compelled, like this was something that he had to do. So again, kudos to him, and he's still doing a really good job being the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. So
Absolutely.
I could only imagine the amount of pressure that he's kind of going through. I'm having to deal with juggling this and
Hmm.
putting a good product, helping to put a good product on the field.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's even from fans and from organization to put fans up that he's getting death threats. He's
Oh yeah,
getting
oh yeah.
all kinds of emails. He's getting all kinds of things, and now you got to look at protecting your family. And this is going in a whole. So he's really doing something big, and but I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of stuff is happening. I know he's not going to talk about that publicly unless this gets unless this does really get some legs and something happens, you would hear about it, but otherwise you probably won't. Yeah. Well, all right. So moving on. We had a James Cook just signed a contract, 48 million, $30 million guaranteed. From what I understand, James Cook is not a every down back. James Cook takes about 48% of the snaps. And people are like, some people are saying, is he worth this amount of money? Is this running back where you're not the every down back? Are you worth this amount of money? So right now, this puts him in third behind Saquon Barkley and Ashton Genty, from what I'm seeing here, as with guaranteed money, $30 million guaranteed, and not a every down back. That's interesting. There's so many backs that are every down backs that aren't even getting this type of money. I think his agent did a great job.
Yeah, you can give credit to the agent for sure, but I give more kudos to the GM Bills because I think this was a savvy move on his part. On one hand, you look at again the amount of plays that he's available for. That's significantly low to be like a top three paid player
Yeah,
at any position.
yeah,
You don't see anyone in any position playing less than 50% of their snaps getting paid top three money. But I think he did that because it shows good morale for the team, right? You have a player that the team, obviously, they like him. The players like him. He does produce when he's on the field. And there's a disproportionate in terms, like the amount that he produces compared to another running back for the limited time that he is on the field. I think it nets out, right? So he's scoring a whole bunch of touchdowns, making a whole bunch of big plays. He's helping the team win. So from that aspect, one could definitely make a case that yes, he deserves the money. But I think for again, Brandon Beane, he's the GM for the Bills. I think this is also a play to say, hey, we take care of our players. And it shows, as a flag of good faith for when future negotiations have to take place with other players that are going to be coming into the fold, where you're going to want to be able to leverage this as, hey, we built an organization, we built a culture where, we treat our players like family, quote, quote. And if you produce, then you will get compensated. So it gives the other players the incentive to say, hey, I'm going to produce, I'm going to play because they're going to take care of me. I think Brandon Beane, I think he did a good job with this one.
yeah. You know what? Yeah, that brings up a good point too. When you think about it, this actually does the Bills a big favor, because when you look at it, if he's not playing that amount of snaps, he gets paid. Like you said, morale boost is good for the team, but also from a health standpoint, right? So if he's not in the game, I mean, he's in the game. He's making, like you say, he makes things happen when he's in the game. But if now from a utilization standpoint, he can last longer without taking those amount of hits. And so they're using him in a part-time role, but he's making full-time kind of plays when he's in the game because he's not being used so much. Think about it. A lot of these guys that are every down backs that are being used every single play and they're taking all these hits. You know what? Yeah, they get paid, but do they last as long? I mean, not every running back is going to last, 7, 8 years like some of these, a Derrick Henry or, a Saquon Barkley or somebody like that. A lot of these guys, after 3 years, they're out of the league.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I from a health standpoint too, I think that's a good move because for longevity purposes, he could be around a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, on the flip side, I think it goes without saying, and I don't want to belabor it, but uh, there are a lot of running backs in the league that are on a similar type of snap count as he is,
Mhm.
and they don't produce the way that he produces.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. So he again, it's warranted. He deserves the money. Not a lot of teams would do it, but kudos to the Bills for doing it. And again, the whole
yeah,
360 view of it, I
yeah,
think is going to bode well for them
yeah,
going forward.
yeah. Definitely, man. Definitely. So, all right. So I know you wanted to talk about Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
Um, so give us some insight on that, man.
Yeah, no, he so Isaiah Bond, he's a rookie out of the University of Texas. He came out with Matt Golden.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the two top wide receivers for UT. And when we were talking about our draft, about the draft a couple of months ago, and talking about the prospects, he was one guy that caught my eye. Like I thought he might have been in play for the Rams,
Right. Right. Okay.
but he got hit with a sexual assault case. And this was in April, so this was like right before the draft, and his stock plummeted. Like he fell out of the draft completely. Nobody touched him. What I find interesting, so first and foremost, he got cleared. Right? He got cleared of all allegations. All the charges have been dropped. I don't know the details and the specifics, but happy for the kid. He's able to continue his career, and now he signed with the Cleveland Browns.
Right. Okay.
So the Cleveland Browns got him. What I find interesting is that there was another rookie. This one, the Cleveland Browns actually drafted, Quinshawn Judkins, running back out of Ohio State, who also got in a bit of trouble. His happened like right after the draft, and it was a domestic violence case, and his case got dropped on the same day. So now the Browns were waiting for that to play out, and of course they're going to draft him because he's a really good running back. He's a thumper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're going to bring him into the fold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just a little bit concerned though, because even though, again, these guys, the cases got dropped, they're, for all intents and purposes, they're innocent of doing any wrongdoing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, therefore, they should be viewed as such
Right.
going forward.
Yeah.
However, the stigma around it and drafting and pulling in players that kind of find themselves in these situations with an organization like the Browns that doesn't have a stellar resume of being able to provide the right type of culture for players on the long term. I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel right. Again, not saying that those guys don't deserve to play or that they don't deserve to get signed and continue on their career. Absolutely. I'm just the Browns, and I don't trust the Browns in conjunction with players that have that kind of sketchiness to their background, and I just don't know how that's going to play out. It's going to be I'm going to be viewing this. I'm going to watch it just to see what happens. It may be much to do about nothing, but I don't know. Like the Browns, that they're picking up guys, different types of characters. I don't see any kind of consistency in the type of character-based players that they're pulling in. They're pulling in players from all different, you know, mental states. The good teams, the great teams, Eagles, Rams, Patriots, even Patriots back in the day, they pick players, and you can look at the team and be like, these guys all they think alike. They all have a similar background, similar mindset, and it brings in that unity and that cohesiveness across the board.
Right.
I'm not seeing that with the Browns.
Yeah.
It's not. So it's gonna. Well, you know what? Maybe it is. It is a cohesiveness of players who just get in trouble and who got speeding tickets. I think Miles Garrett he just got tapped with a speeding ticket too, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know, man. It could just be a same old Browns type of situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And when the Cleveland Browns uh, picked up Deshaun Watson,
Hmm.
that was
That,
enough for me. That
that
was
too.
enough for me.
That too.
That was really enough for me because
That, yeah.
because I mean that kicked the whole thing off. I mean, this kid, unfortunately, he had a problem,
What
right?
we doing? What we doing? Because that right there, that trumps all of the other cases,
That
all together. Like, so
yeah.
you pick up these guys with some sort of issue that they
Mhm.
had to overcome, and you bring them into the team, and now we're seeing this pattern of them just picking up all sorts of I don't know, not malcontents, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's not a good recipe for success.
No.
It's
No.
just not. I could see
Yeah.
you doing it once. You got because you got a team of players where everybody got their head on right,
Right.
and they
Right. Right.
bring
Yeah.
in this guy, and they'll set him straight. Like the coaches don't have to do anything because you got players who are with pristine personalities and traits who could set the standard and keep everybody in line.
Yeah.
But everybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And this is something too. When you look at, okay, Cleveland Browns, hear me out.
hmm
Shador Sanders, and he comes from the Sanders family, right? However, he's never gotten in trouble from what I've understood. He's always been stellar, works hard, gets his stuff done. But then y'all don't want to pick him, Cleveland. Y'all don't, y'all wait till the fifth round to pick him. Somebody that has good character. That
hmm
that 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 okay, yeah, they flashy, right? But he has good character, and y'all don't want to pick him. If this is somebody who could bring your franchise, from what I'm seeing now, I could be wrong, but from what I'm seeing, could bring their franchise into the forefront,
hmm
but y'all want to continue to pick guys who's going to be in legal trouble and
right,
have issues. Well, when
right,
you had a guy, and I think Shador Sanders, that could be the face of the franchise on the offensive side, and then you got Miles Garrett, granted the speeding ticket, however, new contract, everything like that could be the well is Miles Garrett is the leader of the defense on the defensive side, and then
hmm
you could have somebody on the offensive side. Because other than that, I mean, who else you got? Think about all the sales that Shador Sanders jersey has made. It was sold out, man. I mean, it was sold out. So if I'm a smart GM, or if I'm a smart owner, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, you know what? If he plays well enough to where he can either be the backup or he could push to be the starter, we're keeping this kid in town because this is a revenue generator for the company, for the business. I mean,
I
this
don't
is
agree.
what makes sense to me.
I don't agree with that though. I don't
Man,
agree because see that to me that's not football, right? So you're kind of now trending into the Jerry Jones way of
that's Jerry.
operating a team.
That's
That's
Jerry.
Jerry,
Yeah.
right? Who just said just yesterday, right? And I quote, the Cowboys are a soap opera 365 days a year. There's controversy. That controversy is good stuff in terms of keeping and having people's attention. That's all he's concerned about.
That's it.
That's
That's it.
all he's concerned about. So
Yeah.
yes, the Cowboys they're the top value team in all of sports. And you got now you talk about the Browns, and yes, Shador he would definitely get a lot of eyeballs on your team. Jersey sales will go through the roof. He just needs to play good,
Yeah.
win a couple of games, and the hype will continue to flow. But that alone is not gonna win you a championship.
No, it's not only the champ.
But I'm saying, but that's what this is. This is what it's about. You're not watching your Eagles for them to just generate some revenue.
No, no, I'll be pissed.
And the Eagle fans, they wouldn't accept that,
No, I'll be pissed. I'll be
right?
pissed.
And then you got these diehard Cleveland Brown fans who starving
Yeah, they
for a Super Bowl. They watch their team leave go to the Baltimore, become the Ravens, and win two Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's hard.
Right. So they starving for a championship, and you around here talking about you just trying to get some jersey sales and some revenue generation, but they ain't into that.
They are not into that.
Right.
Um, I think though, with Shador, from that standpoint, I think he can be a winner. He can be a winner if they have the right pieces around him. I think that he can be he can get to the point to where if they have the right pieces around them, receiver, running back, you got these guys, these rookies here, they get cleared, they get themselves together, they get some pieces, get some young pieces in there, and they start doing something. I think they have the potential to. I just don't know if the overall cohesive management and environment can get them there. I think they have some core pieces that they can work with.
Yeah,
Seems like
I,
you got a hard time saying that,
I want to
thinking
be,
about that.
I want to be thoughtful about this.
Yeah,
I think he can be a winner too. I do, but I'm still not sold. Yes, he had a great game against the Carolina Panthers #2
yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah.
I wish he was able to play this game against the Eagles coming up. Right?
Do they have him?
Who?
Isn't he? It's gonna be him and Gabriel. No.
So it just came out today that he has an oblique strain
Oh,
and he's not going to be available to play.
okay, okay, okay,
Right?
okay.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
So that's what they say. That's what's being reported, and that's what's being confirmed. I just think I'm sorry. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
I don't apologize for it. When
yeah,
I see something and it smells fishy, then
yeah,
I tend to go with my gut.
yeah, yeah. It's something there.
But that's what's happening. And now your boy Dylan Gabriel is going to be thrown in, to play this game, and I don't expect him to have a good showing. Y'all number two, and I said this before. The Eagles #2s could be #1s in almost any other team,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
It's gonna be a long
It,
day for
it
him.
is. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah,
So I would have liked to have seen Shador play against that caliber of of um of opposition. We're not going to see that. So we only have that one little game against the Carolina Panthers #2s that he played, and he did a good job. He did a
right.
good job, made some good
Yeah,
throws, got a couple of touchdowns. I say he looked poised, he had command, he looked like a quarterback. He looked like
yeah,
he knew what he was doing.
yeah,
Does he seems to have what it takes to continue to elevate if given the opportunity, given the right coaching, given the right infrastructure to be a good quarterback and have a winning team. Yes, he seems to have that. But it's the Browns. It's the Browns. So that's where I have the majority of my pause is that I don't trust that organization
yeah,
to
yeah,
be able to give him what he needs in the long term to be as good as he can possibly be. I don't.
yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate that like you said, he's not playing in this game. Because I thought he was going to be playing in this game. Early in the week, that's at least what they were saying. Him and Dylan Gabriel were going to play, and these injuries too. They even the injury in the last game with I think Kenny Pickett is you know, injured, but Dylan Gabriel also had a hamstring. Both of them had hamstrings. I had found that kind of fishy. I knew they were going to hold Flacco out. Flacco was old, so I knew he wasn't going to play.
Mhm.
But Dylan Gabriel was out in that game, and now Shador is out in this game.
Yep. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what's happening or what the end goal is, but
Yeah.
it does seem a bit orchestrated,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Stop playing with emotions, man. But you know what? You touched on this, with Jerry Jones and that was just comical, man. That was so comical. I mean,
I
Jerry,
couldn't. And
this
the thing,
dude actually came out and said this, and he was thinking this, but he said it out of his mouth. So, you know, I can't even feel bad for Dallas fans. I can't even feel bad for them because you're riding on something with the ownership that does not, and they confirmed it. You don't want to win. You pretty much confirmed it. So why do I even want to play there as a player? Why
Right.
do we even want to play there? If I know as a player, I want to win a Super Bowl. That's the bottom line. That's why we here. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. Why am I going to Dallas? That don't even make any sense. I mean, yes, okay, the money's good. You get paid, blah, blah, all of this is great. But man, the whole goal is to win a Super Bowl, man.
Right.
And that ain't, yeah,
Especially when you're that team.
yes, yes,
Especially
yes,
when you're that team. Right. And I said it before, I'll say it again, right? Jerry Jones, he don't care about Cowboy fans. He does not
yeah,
care about Cowboy fans.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cowboy fans want to win.
yeah,
They still hanging on to 30 years ago.
yeah.
They still hanging on to that. But
Hard.
he said it's a 365-day a year soap opera. That's what it is.
And he did say this too, and that comment because I was watching the same thing, and he said, if nothing's happening, I'm going to stir something up. He said that.
I was watching NFL Live this was a couple of weeks ago when the Micah Parsons thing was really kind of percolating.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
And Marcus Spears, he's an analyst, and I used to be a defensive lineman for the Cowboys back in the
Yes.
day.
Yes.
And he said something, I mean, not I think, but I totally agree with it. He said that, Jerry Jones does this all the time, right? He did it with Dak, did it with CD,
Mm-hmm.
even back in the day with Emmett, right? He prolongs this thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just to get the attention. But he said one of these days, one of these players is going to stand on business. And it's not going to be about the money. It's going to
No.
be about principle.
Yeah.
And he said, I hope Micah Parsons do it.
Yeah.
Like at some point, enough is enough. At
Enough.
some point, one of these players are gonna be like, you know what? I don't care. I'm not going to be a puppet in this show. I'm done. I want out. And they're gonna force their way. They're gonna force their hand and get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be smart on the players' behalf, man, because if your ownership coming out and saying stuff like that, that was a recipe for me to get out of there, man.
Yeah.
That's an indication it's time to go.
The only unfortunate thing though is I think at the end of the day, Micah Parsons is gonna sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna make him the highest paid non-quarterback in
Yeah.
league history.
Yeah. 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 And that's really and really at the end of the day, I know, he's going to say, oh, yeah, when you get the money and you get paid, he's going to say, oh, yeah, we're going to win. Let's go. We ready now. Ain't nothing.
Miles Garrett just did it, right? Remember?
Yeah.
He wanted out of Cleveland.
He wanted out.
Of Cleveland.
Wanted
He
out.
was done.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they gave him the money. It's like
It's the best thing ever.
we building a championship team. We putting some good players. I'm like, this dude just said just 3 days ago.
Just yeah. 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 Well, it's the NFL, man. It's the NFL. This is
Soap opera.
the soap opera. That's why you got to tune in. That's why you got to tune in every week.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Yep. So anyway, all right. So what else we got? We got. I think.
Let's see. We got Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. He has a disciplinary herring.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
words all today. But yeah, he has a case coming up September 30th.
Yeah.
So this stems back from I think the vehicular incident that
Yeah.
happened a while back, and now it's coming to the forefront. They are also expecting the NFL to also hand down some sort of a ruling depending on how this thing goes. So
Right.
want to kind of look out for that and see how that plays out for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I believe they said he faces a potential discipline under the league's personal conduct policy after he was already sentenced. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail.
30 days in jail.
Yeah, in July.
Okay. So he already served his time.
Yeah. So his hearing, this is an NFL hearing for
The
September.
Roger Goodell hearing, though.
The NFL is going to do.
Roger Goodell hearing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. So what we're looking at here is we got some games coming up Tomorrow you got the Falcons. Tennessee is at the Falcons. Then you got that's coming on at 7 p.m. Then at 10 p.m. you got KC against Seattle. They'll be
Seattle.
out there in Seattle. And then on Saturday you got at 1 o'clock you got Miami, Detroit, Carolina, Houston, Green Bay, Indianapolis, New England, Minnesota, and also Cleveland at my Eagles. And then you got the 49ers at the Raiders, Baltimore at Dallas, the Chargers at your Rams. That's home for both of y'all, for both of them. Really,
Really?
but I guess it's
Our
your
house.
it's
It's
your
our house.
house. Yeah,
It's our house.
yeah.
We own that stadium.
Yeah, y'all own it. Y'all own it. Then you got the Jets at the Giants, Tampa Bay at Pittsburgh, Arizona at Denver. Sunday you got Jacksonville, New Orleans, Buffalo, Chicago, and then Monday night you got the Bengals and the Commanders. So
Wait, they actually got a Monday night?
yeah, they got a Monday night, Monday the 18th, Cincinnati and
Okay.
Commanders. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah, so I'm interested in this Buffalo Chicago game.
mm, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Because they said Ben Johnson, he's gonna be playing the starters, right? So
Okay.
we're gonna see Caleb
Okay.
and those guys. He's gonna, I think, of course, limited snaps, of course.
Right.
But I'm eager to see how these guys operate in this offense. I'm really excited to see how this thing kind of launches and gets off. Tempering expectations to know that there potentially is going to be some hiccups along the way because of how
Right.
sophisticated the offense is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think Bears fans out there, they should be like chomping at the bit to see how this thing is going to
See
play.
what this look like. See what this
Yeah.
new offense look like, man. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think you know when you talk about Ben Johnson and what he did with your former quarterback there in Detroit, uh I want to see. I definitely want to see too. I'm going to tune into this one. I want to see what, at least in that first couple series. I don't know if they're going to be going up against Buffalo's ones or Buffalo's twos or what.
So it doesn't really matter
Yeah,
to me, right? Because again, preseason is about understanding what you're supposed to be doing, getting the reps in, and operating with efficiency, right? If you can go out there, call your plays, break your huddle, line up, minimize any penalties, and get some clean snaps out.
right.
That's it. I mean, that's
All you
really what
need.
it's about. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all it's about. So it's gonna. I just want to see just how efficient they are
yeah,
running the plays.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter who the depth chart of who they're playing against. It doesn't really matter. I want to see Caleb out there, and I want to see him, and more importantly for Caleb, see him play within the structure of the offense
Yeah,
and not ad-libbing so much,
yeah.
right? Play in rhythm, play in the structure, go through your progressions, right? And just do what you're supposed to do, what the play has designed for you to do.
Right. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. Good to watch, man. So let's see. We'll have a full slate to kind of break down and talk about. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll get through these couple games that's coming up, and we'll jump back on and kind of break a couple of those down, and we'll keep rolling on to the next one.
All right. Cool.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Yep. Later.